Kim is part of the dynamic duo with Natasha, who started Head to Foot Oasis 12 years ago here on Harvester Road in Burlington, and they've just done a fantastic job. There are many, many kinds of massage. We're going to explore 4 different kinds today. First of all, we're going to talk about athletics. But first, before you even get to the table here, there's specific clothing that you think athletes should be wearing as they're training. You want to show us and tell us why this is important?
Sure. So as part of the treatment plan, when athletes are coming in, we want to look at the muscle, but we also want to optimize their outcomes when they're on the field. So the athletic clothing, it helps to increase function, prevent lactic acid buildup in the muscle tissues, improve performance, and prevent injury all around.
Now, it looks just like a tracksuit I would have at home, but obviously it's not. So what are the properties of this that make it important?
It has a moisture wicking, so it's going to keep them dry, prevent the muscles from cooling and getting cold and looking at injury that way. But also it's going to prevent that muscle when you're running and stopping from oscillating. So it increases circulation and gets rid of that lactic acid buildup. So it's just like giving them that edge when they're on the field, that they can be out there running faster, running longer, and optimize their function.
Okay. As important as the coach is anymore on a sports team is the therapist who works with the athletes. And because of the time it takes to get them ready, the money that these athletes make, they got to be ready to go. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing today on this one.
Okay, so with Marcus, he's a soccer player. So we want to basically lengthen the muscle before we strengthen at all times. So if we start to strengthen a shortened muscle, he's prone to injury and repetitive strain. So we want to keep things moving. So the first thing we're doing, as I flex his leg, you see the hip pop. He has short hip flexors, so we want to basically make sure that we are lengthening the hip flexors, lengthening the quad muscles, and keeping the hamstrings at their optimal length so that he can run faster, stop, sprint, kick. We'll also work on his obliques because as a soccer player, he's kicking, so this muscle is getting overused, and so we just want to look at all these things that they use to function and just keep them at their optimal health.
Okay, I'll let you continue working on him. Right. We're going to come back a little bit later, and again, there are many, many kinds of massage. We're going to explore more of them here at Head to Foot Oasis on Harvester Road in Burlington. Here we are back at Head to Foot Oasis, and Kim's back with us for a second episode. And again, as I mentioned, there's all kinds of things involved with massage. Right now, what we want to talk about for the next couple of minutes is what happens after major surgery, after cancer scenarios, that kind of a thing, because the actual surgery or the starting of recovery is just a small part of it. It's what happens after.
Absolutely.
So what happens here, and what are you doing to help?
Well, we saw a gap in the treatment and surgery, and then what happens after that. So we actually developed here a pump room, and this mimics manual lymphatic drainage, which is a massage technique where you're moving lymph out and swelling out of the system. So we have Maureen here on a leg pump. She's post-operative. She had surgery on her leg, and she comes in here and she'll sit on the pump for 30 to 40 minutes and help move that fluid out. She also did this prior to surgery in order to prep the tissue and get it ready for surgery so it can uptake that fluid from the trauma of the surgery.
So does it actually take the fluid out?
It does. It moves the fluid. No, it moves it up, and then it puts it back into the circulatory system. Then it goes through your kidneys, and you actually you basically pee it out is what you're doing. It's just helping influence that. Because when you have trauma, it can tank. It can make your lymphatic system go very sluggish. So it's just about moving that fluid out and getting it out so that you have less bruising, less pain, and increased mobility at a faster rate. So it helps the rehab process. Okay. And then we have Mary here. And Mary, we actually did a treatment plan with Mary last week, and it was very successful. So we were looking at putting her into a custom arm garment, and that was because she has lymphedema in her right arm post-cancer treatment. So she had radiation, chemotherapy, and lymph node removal. So her arm is quite swollen. So last week she came in and she did 30 minutes on the pump every day, and then we bandaged her after. And we found that after her coming in for 5 days, she went down 3.5 centimeters in circumference in her arm. So not only did it prevent her from having to go into something custom, which is quite costly, she was able to go into an off-the-counter, but it also reduced her pain, reduced the heaviness in her arm, and gave her a lot more flexibility.
Okay, we should let them go about their treatments. Let's get out of here. Actually, we're going to come back a little bit later. When we do here at the Head to Foot Oasis on Harvester Road, we are going to talk about things for you people with bad backs. I know there's lots of you, so we'll see you then. If you've been with us already this morning, folks, you'll know that there's more to massage now than just a nice back rub. And we're talking to Jen here, and we're going to find out a couple of things. A massage physiotherapist.
Yep.
She's a physiotherapist specializing, first of all, in cancer treatment, breast cancer treatment, but first of all, backs. Backs are a big problem for people. They're sitting, they're driving, they're hunching forward. Back's a big problem for people.
We're always in forward flexion positions. We're always in poor posture. So a lot of what people will think is going on is that there's something wrong with the disc level, there's something wrong at the joint level, but often it's soft tissue related. And so myofascial release, which is a slow release technique of the connective tissues. Fascia actually means, in Latin, means band. And so when we talk about these bands that interweave throughout our entire body, now they're understanding that it's more of a web that leads throughout our body. So from organ to muscle to tendons to bone, and that there's such a connection from one area of tautness to another, that if we can release and open up that webbing system, then we have release throughout many different areas of the body. So a sore shoulder could be related to a sore back, and that there's those connections throughout our whole body.
Okay. Now you're also very involved with recovery from breast cancer.
Yes.
Again, massage is part of this. Tell us a bit about that.
So Jackie and I are working on some release work down the arm because, as you can see, after having mastectomy, lumpectomies, you're having retraction through the skin, and then radiation, which you can see from Jackie here, will also affect the fascia. And then we see tautness that can occur down through the arm, through the armpit where there might have been lymph node dissection, and then all the way down the arm. So a lot of women will talk about an ache down the arm, functional changes. They don't have range of motion. They can't reach and do things that they would typically do. They can't perform their daily exercises. So if we can release that soft tissue, they see huge gains in their function and getting back to their lifestyle that they enjoy.
Okay, thanks for letting us invade your session right here, Jen.
You're welcome.
And again, multi things involved with massage here. Next up, if you got foot problems, we're going to talk to you, so you'll want to stay tuned for that here at the Head to Foot Oasis on Harvester Road in Burlington. Remember at the top of our segments here, I mentioned that Kim was part of a dynamic duo that started Head to Foot Oasis here on Harvester Road. Well, we're going to meet the other half of the dynamic duo. Sorry, I have to leave you. We have to go and talk to Natasha. Natasha is a chiropodist, not a chiropodist, but a chiropodist. And we want to ask you a little bit about feet today, because everybody has foot problems. They have back problems, they have knee problems, they have hip problems, but a lot of it stems from right here. What are you doing?
Absolutely. So I'm making a plaster cast of her foot in a corrected position. So it's called subtalar joint neutral. And from this position, we make a cast, and then we can build an orthotic for her after we've done a full biomechanical assessment and gait analysis. So we watch her walk, we check her ranges of motion, and then we make a device that's specific for her needs, for her foot structure, for her footwear, height, weight, and activity level.
Okay, the big thing about this is a lot of people have thought about orthotics. They may even have them on their drug plans at work, but they say, it's too expensive. It's not worth the money.
Right. Well, I disagree, because they are definitely helpful in managing pain and reducing debilitation. The ones off the shelf are just generic. They're not actually made for you, taking into consideration your activities, and your footwear and your needs. So these can be used to treat lower back pain, knee pain, hip pain. Plantar fasciitis is a really big thing that we treat as well with the orthotic. And it's really specific to you. So it's a custom device. It's not something that you can just go and pull off the shelf that anybody can use.
Okay. Thanks for letting us come in here and watch while you're doing this today. So again, the Head to Foot Oasis on Harvester Road is where you want to come. We've given you lots of information today as far as massage can help a lot of things. So check it out. Talk to Natasha. Talk to Kim. Give them a call at Head to Foot Oasis.